Who's the most underrated soccer player of all time? Ooh, that's a good question, because I'm really not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. I think a few people would say Giroud, but I don't think he's the most underrated of all time, because I don't think he's ever world class. I just think he's great at moments and scoring incredible goals, and obviously turning up in certain big games. It's definitely not Giroud. Who else would it be? Maybe Busquets. Probably Busquets, because in the late 2000s, early 2010s, obviously Barcelona had Messi. They had some incredible players up front. At one point they had Messi, Eto'o, Henry. Then they had Ibrahimovic at one point when they swapped him for Eto'o. They had Messi, Suarez, Neymar. They had David Villa next to Messi. They had an incredible attack force. They also had a brilliant midfield. They had one of the best midfielders of all time in Iniesta, Xavi, and Busquets. And in the World Cup as well for Spain. Like, that was the midfield for Spain in the World Cup. And they won the World Cup. They didn't concede a goal. They didn't concede a goal because they were so solid. And that midfield was a part of it. And they won every game 1-0 in the knockouts. Like, they just... Because no one could score against them. They just did score one goal and that's it. You're done. The game's over. But yeah, I'd say Busquets, because everyone, when they think about that team, because it's arguably the greatest team of all time, Barcelona 2009. 2009? Yeah, 2009 or 2011. That's arguably the greatest football team of all time, not just Barcelona. And whenever people think about it, they always bring up Xavi and Iniesta. Like, these are two incredible players. They could have been World Player of the Year if not for Messi or Ronaldo. People always bring up Xavi and Iniesta, but never Busquets. Busquets was part of that midfield as well, and he was incredible. I think people underrate him partly because he dives a lot, and he did dive a lot, in fairness. But he was an incredible player, incredible defensive midfielder, and he was a solid rock. Like, he was a key component to that Spanish and Barcelona team. And in my eyes, he does not get as much credit as he deserves, because he was a world-class player for them. And I think he was a big reason why Barcelona was so successful as well. That's the best thing I can think of, to be honest, because... I'm trying to think far back. I feel like there's a player from like early 2000s that was really good but never got credit for it. I'm just trying to think who that is because I can't remember. What about Huntelaar? Maybe Huntelaar, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. He's not what I was thinking of at first. I just thought of him now. But like, he was a Dutch striker who was very clinical. There was one season, I think it was 2012, he was the 4th highest goal scorer in Europe in the top 5 leagues. So it went Messi, Ronaldo, it went Ronaldo, Messi. It went Ronaldo, Messi, Mario Gomez, Huntelaar, Van Persie. I think that was the top 5 that year. He was bloody incredible, and he was playing for Schalke as well. He had a lot of great goal scoring seasons, but he was never really rated that highly. So I guess maybe him, but not the best example. But he was incredible, so I'll put it there. I'm trying to think, who else? I don't know. I actually don't know, you know. I feel like there's something so obvious, I'm just not thinking of it. There's something so obvious, I'm just not thinking of what it is. But yeah, we'll move on. But yeah, that's a good question. I just don't have the good answer, but I feel like Busquets is a good answer. Is England chance to win a tournament with the golden generation fading? Possibly, yes. Obviously, it's never easy to win these things. World Cup is every 4 years. So is the Euros. Obviously, technically, that's 2 years. Every 2 years, there's a tournament. And also, there's Nations League. So there's still things to win. But obviously, if you win Nations League, that doesn't count as like a Euros or World Cup level thing. Yeah, in terms of winning the Euros and World Cup, yes, or winning anything right now, really. I'm not sure if it's fading, but work needs to be done. We need to be a lot better. It's clear Southgate wasn't good enough. He couldn't win the big one. His issue was like he could go to the end, but couldn't finish the job, essentially. He would get you there, but just couldn't finish the job. His tactics were never right, and I feel like he made the same sort of errors multiple times. Maybe not the Spain game recently. That was more just Spain being better, but the other ones got to the final of the last Euros against Italy, scored the first goal, and then most of the game we sat back and we let them have the ball. We let Italy have the ball. It didn't work. And the issue is we did the same thing 3 years before in the World Cup against Croatia in the semi-final in 2018. We did the exact same thing. We sat off too much. We sat back after a good first half, and then Croatia punished us. And we made the exact same mistakes in the Euro final against Italy. And also made the same mistakes in the Nations League semi against Netherlands as well in 2019. So that was 3 times where he bottled a big game. So how he wasn't, like, Italy was the 3rd time he did it as well. So how he was doing a job after that, I don't know. But yeah, and then obviously the Spain final. But we've been close a couple times, obviously. Italy was penalties, Spain only by a goal. With a late winner, so it's not like we're far off, but obviously if you don't win, you don't win, and there's only so many chances to win it. Obviously by the next World Cup, Harry Kane's probably too old, or if he isn't, he's at least like coming out of his prime. Players will get older, obviously, and unfortunately, and also you could get unlucky. You could get like injured before the World Cup and suddenly there's no World Cup for you for another 4 years. That happened to Walcott. He never played a World Cup, Walcott. he had a really good season in 2014, then got an ACL injury, missed the World Cup. Never played a World Cup because of it. So you can be unlucky like that. But we got some good young players, some very good young players that are very talented and very good. And they showed that at the Euros, I think. So it's not over yet, but improvement needs to be done for sure in terms of tactics and how we play. Because our way of playing the last few years, yes, they've gotten us to finals, but they've not been enough to win things. So we need to improve on that aspect. But I don't think it's fading yet. But if it doesn't happen in 2026, then obviously there'll be issues. Or 2028, actually. 2028, we are hosting the Euros. A joint host with Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and Ireland. So it's like a 5-country thing, UK and Ireland. So that's going to be fun. But if we've not won anything by that tournament, then obviously it has faded. But right now, you can't really say just yet. But you never know. Why do you refuse to accept the fact that Fremantle will win the AFL Premiership in 2025? Q&A question. Your average target frog, finding some sanity.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it